I am extremely worried about the character of Arin going forward from Season 3 Part 2 into Season 4. Dragon's Rising has introduced us to a multitude of fantastic characters, and all of them have some really interesting arcs, a lot of them have a lot of really interesting stories, but I feel like no one has been emphasized more when it comes to Arin. He is the poster child of Dragon's Rising. He is one of the main stakes, and he is one of the major focuses in every single season when it does come to Dragon's Rising. And the thing is that I feel like we've officially gotten to a point where Arin may have a potential fall off. And that really does scare me, because I don't want that to be the case. But as it stands, Arin's plot points for the most part have been completely resolved over the course of every single season. You can see how it progresses all the way through, you can see how Arin has his downfalls. But the thing is that all of that is done now. So what next? Let me run you through the progression of Arin's character, and let me show you how all of the three major plot points when it comes to Arin have been resolved as of the end of Season 3 Part 2, and how Season 4 is either going to have to do something drastic, or it's going to have to make some sort of change that may be able to rescue him, but for the most part, still does make me genuinely worried. I'm going to separate all three plot points and show you how they developed over the course of Dragon's Rising. The first one is his whole mission to be able to find his parents. The whole thing where he wants to find out whether or not they're truly gone or not, and he wants to be able to be reunited with his family. When Arin encounters the ninja in Season 1, one of the main things he has spoken to Lloyd about is regarding his parents. He has told him about how they were lost in the merge. He believes that they may be still out there somewhere because he has got reason to believe that they may potentially be there. And Lloyd was constantly reassuring them over the course of Season 1 that they will find his parents eventually. This was enough for Arin for the most part, because he just believed in his idol, he believed in his hero, the legendary Green Ninja, so that was able to hold him over for the most part. And that does actually seep into Season 2, where he does continue on during the whole thing with the Blood Moon, and he did actually have a level of confidence to the point where he was almost distracted from the parent plot points, but that doesn't exactly last for long. Season 2 Part 2 shows that Arin has become almost impatient, he has become almost bitter towards the ninja because it feels like there was no priority put on being able to find his parents. And the ninja's whole thing has been, well, they've been a bit busy and they're trying to get things done, but Arin never really saw it that way. He lost faith in the ninja because he believed that they never truly cared about finding his parents, and that is what actually led him to Raz. This was the beginning of Arin stopping at nothing to be able to find his parents once more, and it does lead into Season 3 where he goes on his mission with Raz to be able to find his parents. This is where he does though get the belief that his parents are actually dead, and it completely upsets him, and in his eyes the whole mission to find his parents was officially done. However, Raz gave him a way to be able to get them back, even though Raz was actually lying. This seeps into the very end where the ninja did actually find Arin's parents, and Arin was reunited with his parents in the end. The mission and the plot point was complete. Arin's parents were found, he was safe, he once again found his family. And for the most part, that is where it ends. Because in Season 3 Part 2, even though Arin is not with them, his parents are seemingly comfy in the monastery waiting for his eventual return. Arin's second plot point has always been his confidence and his building of his ninja skills, being able to become a hero of the land like his heroes also are, and he has been able to go through this entire different plot when it does come to this aspect to him. Again, Season 1, you see his initial build-up, you see him gain confidence, and you see him realise that he doesn't actually need to be an elemental master like Lloyd to actually be able to be a ninja. It was all in the skill, and he was definitely developing them, especially with object spin jitsu, a form of spin jitsu that only he knows. He wasn't exactly good at it, but the potential was definitely there. His confidence only was building in Season 2 Part 1, where he was continuing to home in on his skills, he was still trying to learn spin jitsu, and he did feel a couple of knockbacks because he couldn't achieve a full spin jitsu tornado, but the thing is that he was definitely feeling confident, especially after him believing that he was able to use object spin jitsu to be able to knock Raz down. In reality it was Sora, but he didn't know it, and he was more confident than ever. But again in Season 2 Part 2, you see his confidence get knocked because he realizes that it wasn't actually him that was able to knock Raz down. Raz himself tells him that Sora was the one who actually did it, and he loses his faith as a ninja. This also coincides with the parent plot point because it was also what fueled his belief that the ninja never truly cares, but the point is that Arin felt less confident than ever, and it actually made him feel like he wasn't truly good enough to be able to be a ninja, because if he was just constantly being assisted by others, why was he even there? This again did lead him into the hands of Raz, and Raz spent season 3 trying to make him not into a good ninja, but a great warrior, filled with his anger, filled with his rage to be able to accomplish what he truly wanted. And he did learn Spinjitzu by this, and he did become more confident by result. But the thing is that it never truly felt complete to Arin. You could see how reluctant he was, and he was only truly there to actually see his parents, and I do think that was really interesting, because in the end, Arin's feats were mainly accomplished by what he learned as a ninja, and I do think that is a very interesting thing to see. And this again did lead into Season 3 Part 2, where you actually get to see him leave Raz's tutorage and he goes back to the ninja. And you can see his confidence is very shaky again, because he is trying to be a ninja and not a warrior. But again, it basically gets resolved during the fight with the Arc Dragon of Focus, because Lloyd lets Arin take the reins, and Arin has the confidence to be able to defeat Thunderfang. He's able to help Lloyd in being able to accomplish that feat. And it's where he realized that he truly was a ninja, and he truly had the skill set to be able to be one. This again being another plot point that is seemingly resolved. He is by all accounts a ninja now. He is a skilled warrior. He is a hero of the land. He accomplished that feat, and he now has both his parents and his skill. But his last plot point has been a lot more brief, and it is just the whole interaction that he did have with Raz. The thing is that where he maybe lacked confidence and where he lacked certain things about him, it did actually lead him into the manipulation of Raz, and he had to deal with this whole plot of remaining with him reluctantly, doing his best to be able to defend Raz, to be able to help Raz, to be able to accomplish his own goals. The whole plot is him dealing with whether or not he wants to be aligned with Raz. You can see that he doesn't want to, you can see how reluctant he is, but he realizes that he has to if he wants to be able to accomplish his goals. Remember, he was only there because he believed it was the only way to be able to find his parents and then to be able to save his parents later on. It is his belief that that is the right thing he has to do to get what he wants, but he didn't like the fact he had to do it with that person. And again, it gets resolved in the fact that he realizes that the ninja were truly helping him and that Raz was never truly on his side. It came down to him trying to sacrifice Sora for him to realize that it wasn't really Raz being the person that he wanted to be able to do all that with. And in the end, even though it really did hurt him to let go of Raz, because in his mind it was letting go of his parents, he realized it was a necessary feat to defend the ones around him as well. But that's a point above all else. Those 3 plot points are the main aspects when it comes to Arin. Those are the consistent things throughout the entire course of Dragon's Rising. But they're all officially done as of Season 3 Part 2. He is now stuck with Lloyd in another realm with no plot to necessarily deal with. And that is why I'm extremely worried when it comes to Arin, because the thing is that now he is in a position where they're fairly late into the Dragon's Rising sphere, and Arin needs to figure out what he's going to do for the rest of that duration. Because if Arin just falls into the background, it will honestly be beyond disappointing, especially considering how prevalent he has been so far. But the thing is that what can they necessarily do with Arin that wouldn't feel like a rehash of something they have had prior? And also, what could they do that wouldn't take up too much time? Especially because we know that next year is going to focus a little more on Lloyd. So if Arin is with the main focus of the season, what he is going to be able to do when he's essentially a side character? And again, this is why I'm very worried, because if Arin just completely falls to the wayside and he has nothing to do from here onwards, it will be a massive waste of such a developed character so far. But the thing is that I do have a bit of a solution, but it's also going to be a little bit of a retcon. Whilst I said I don't necessarily want them to rehash a plot point he already had, the thing is that they could elongate a certain plot point that they had now, and almost coincide 2 of Arin's plots so far, and that is to do with Raz and also his parents. In my Season 3 Part 2 review, I did note that once Arin's parents were found, it felt like they just had nothing left to do, and by all accounts it seems to be that they are just tucked up cozy in the Monastery of Spinjitzu. But the thing is that at the end of Season 3 Part 2, we should have seen Raz not only have the box with Wu's spirit in it, but also had Arin's parents as a hostage. Not only would this breathe more life into the Arin parent subplot, it would also make a really interesting dynamic, because it would have to have Arin establish that even though he has got his parents back, they are under the guard of someone that he would need to defeat. And not only would that be interesting to see how Arin reacts to it, it would also have this new and interesting personal vendetta between Raz and Arin, and it would really stick the 2 against each other as their main rivals. If Arin takes more of a personal dislike to Raz, and there was more of a personal stake between the two, it would be able to come back around to everything that we've seen so far when it comes to Dragon's Rising. Remember, one of the first times we actually got to see Arin fight was against Raz, and every time we have seen Raz and Arin fight, we have always seen Arin completely lose to Raz because of the difference in skill. But what if Raz actually did something that really did infuriate Arin, and then we got to see a final match between the two where Arin is eventually able to defeat Raz, and it's all because that he did take their parents. I think it would have a really interesting impact on Arin, and it would not only have the parent subplot continue, it would also meld into the confidence thing, because then you could have this whole idea that Arin may believe that he would need to re-tap into his anger and his strength to be able to get his parents back, and it would cause him to relearn the way of the ninja. It would cause him to learn balance once more, learn peace, and learn how the ninja have able to defeated all their enemies time before. I think it would be a really interesting way to coincide Arin with the main villain of Dragon's Rising and really round off his plot in a good way, and really give him a confident resolution at the end, where he is more confident than ever, he defeated his villain, he's got his parents back, and he can officially be happy. I don't know about you, but I would really like that idea. And this is almost why I hope that they do retcon it so Raz did take Arin's parents, because I really like this idea and I do think it would be a good way to round off his character. It's just, as it stands, I feel like his parents aren't going to be a part of this and they're going to have to figure something else out for Arin. And that is why I'm worried about the character. Because in the end, if they don't do anything with his character and he just officially stagnates and does nothing more within Dragon's Rising, I do think it's going to be one of the biggest missed opportunities than ever. Because I've already got this worry about Sora, because it feels like Sora is mainly just serviced the Arin plot in Season 3, but the thing is that it happens to both of them. It means that all the original poster childs of Dragon's Rising officially don't have anything else to do within the show. And I don't know about you, but that would be one of the most disappointing things I would have seen in a very long time. But I'm going to officially pass it off to you guys. Not only do I want to know, do you like the plot points of Arin? Are you happy with how they've seemingly been resolved? I would like to know what you think Arin should be able to do going on from here in Dragon's Rising. Do you agree with me with having this personal vendetta with Raz and having him have to go against him to be able to get his parents back? Or do you think there's another plot point that they could approach when it does come to his character? I would love to know what you think, because I just want to have some sort of cope that Arin is going to continue to be as interesting as a character that we have had so far. But that is about it for today, you guys, and thank you very much for watching, and take care. Okay,